When it comes to food, I believe in giving everything a go. Now, the rewards for the adventurous eater are obvious, but actually they're there for the cook too. Every time I cook something for the first time, I never can get over how easy it is. Believe me, my sweet and salty crunchy nut bars are the stuff of greedy dreams. If I suggest you make black rice by dyeing it with squid ink, please don't shriek in horror, because I promise you, my squink risotto is as spectacular to eat as it is simple to make. And finally, I like to breathe new life into old traditions by getting a shin of beef, braising it with Asian flavors, and topping it with a sour, hot, crunchy salad. Sometimes I just feel like going lusciously over the top, and when I'm in that mood, my salt and sweety crunchy nut bar is a must. There's something about it that is just addictive, and perhaps part of that is that the base of it, for all its name, is chocolate. You can really use chocolate in whatever permutation you like. Just 300 grams of chocolate. At the moment, I'm using 200 grams of milk chocolate and 100 of dark. But sometimes I feel like that children's party sweetness, and I use all milk. Sometimes I feel like being very sophisticated, and I use all dark. To help the chocolate melt and later set silkily, I need some butter. Don't give me any trouble about this. You wouldn't eat this every day. Even I wouldn't eat this every day. I could, but I won't. On top of the butter, just a bit of golden syrup, about 3 spoonfuls, to help everything stay glossy when it melts. And now we can begin, cautiously of course, the melting. Gonna help everything on its way. So really I am making chocolate bars out of chocolate bars. It's worth it. Now, I promised you sweet and salty, and I shall give you sweet and salty. In fact, salty first, provided just by regular salted peanuts. Odd perhaps to have in something that's sweet, but for me the balance between salt and sweet is so fantastic. When you eat these, it's like several klaxons going off in your head all at once. Now the sweet, just in case the golden syrup and the chocolate weren't enough, is provided by some chocolate coated honeycomb bars. There are very few certain pleasures in life, but this is surely one of them. Now the chocolate has melted and I have the most fantastic pan full of a molten chocolate lake in here. Mix the peanuts and honeycomb together so that everything, the salt and sweet, is dispersed equally. So you get a bit of each and every bite. And in to the pan, and then straight away into another pan. I use a throwaway foil container, one that's actually sold for barbecuing, I think. But it's so easy. It does mean you can get the chocolate bars out very easily. Otherwise, just use a 20 centimetre by 30 centimetre tin and line it with foil. Now, I would say once this is sat in the fridge for about 4 hours, it really depends on how cold your fridge is. I cut these into about 16. They go very fast. Make sure to get yours in first. Into the fridge. The sweet and salty crunchy nut bars are set and ready to go on their plate. Pyramid of pleasure. When I was about 15, I was going through a very profound Oscar Wilde period, and I was so obsessive that not only did I have to read everything he ever wrote, but I had to read anything that might be even subliminally mentioned in one of his books. And there was, I think, some sort of reference to a book that Lord Henry Wotton gave Dorian Gray, and the book in real life was a novel called À rebours, translated normally as Against the Grain, and it was meant to be the sort of apogee of decadence, and in it was a meal that everything was black, and piles of caviar and strange things like mule steaks and stews in licorice water. And I hadn't really thought about this until I went to Venice, and then when I saw those fantastically moody, dark squid risottos, I thought, you know what? I'm going to have my decadent moment. I am going to cook my black risotto. Prepared for the squid ink. And don't worry, this won't hurt at all. The squid ink comes from sachets. I get them from the fishmonger. I want to snip off and squirt this really thick, viscous ink into the stock. Doesn't look that black now, but it will. It will. My second sachet. Right. So the risotto proper. A black risotto is simply a risotto that's dyed black with squid ink. Hence my squink risotto. Some olive oil, just regular olive oil. And I've got some chopped spring onions. And now some garlic. Normally I'm so happy to use garlic infused oil, but because of the pungency really of the squid ink, it smells of the sea, and it's like some deep experience long, long ago. I want the real heat and hit of fresh garlic. And into this goes the rice. I like carnaroli. I want 250 grams. So the idea here is to turn the rice into the oil just so it's slicked with it slightly. It's not going to be glossy. There's too much rice and not enough oil. Normally with risotto, you put white wine in at this stage, but I want to revel in the deep dark tones of the squid ink, and so I'm going for red wine. And again, the deep flavours are much more suitable. So I just add a glass of red wine. Hear the bubble. Ruby liquid there. And stir this in. I don't want this to bubble away, but just to bubble down a bit. It's all happening now. I feel a bit like I'm spinning various discs here with all my pans, but I think we're okay. First ladleful of black stock. In we go. And now it's just a question of stirring. Each ladleful of stock has got to be absorbed into the rice before another ladleful goes in. Takes about, I suppose, under 20 minutes. Just standing by the stove and stirring makes me calm, makes me happy. It really is like some primeval soup. I love this black risotto just as it is, actually, but I have a little flourish that I like. What I like to do is just fry a little red chilli, just chopped. So on top of that, I've got some chopped squid, well, sliced squid, into rings in the traditional manner, with some tentacles. And this contrasting squid mixture tops flamboyantly but beautifully my squink risotto. Perfect. Almost ready to roll. One thing, a quick bit of parsley, only a small amount. And dish up. You can use bowls if you like. I just love seeing it on this white plate. Now, like this, we have, of course, the perfect date dinner for Goths. Just tumble in the tender white rings and the red chili confetti, and in honour of the Italian flag, some green parsley. I am so ready for this.